Hey, you guys, can you see me? So, I am going to fix my tech issues, promise. But we're in the middle of painting. What I like to do is usually about 10 rounds. So, once they dry, I like the next day to keep manipulating them. So, I wanted to continue. Let me see if y'all can see. Okay. And some of what we've been doing, if anybody's watched the other two lives, I just wanted to show you how sometimes they end up. Here's another cool one. Get that closer. Can you see it? I'm really into texture. I like texture. Look at this poor moth got stuck on there the next morning. Anyways, I have screens up really well now, but back then I had the garage door just open. But there's some of what we did yesterday where the oil is mixed with the paint, and then when you hit it with the torch, if it has multiple colors in what I like to call the bubble, it ends up that way. I like this one. It looks like a eyeball. So it's hotter than anything here. It's not supposed to be. So I've got the back door open. Things look a little different. But I wanted to manipulate this one. But I like it a lot already. So sometimes when you do what, this type of painting method is called a pour, P-O-U-R. And sometimes when you find one that you just like the way it looks, some people will just do regular paint and paint edges, or if they see something that they like or don't like. So that's what I was kind of thinking we might do. And then I looked at this one, and my daughter said she thought it looked done. And it does not look done to me. So I thought we could add to that one. And then these dried, kind of cool. Oh, I need to make sure you can see that. Yeah. And I think until we have wet paint, this might help. Yeah. It's just when the paint's wet, it shines. So you can see how there's texture and how the colors kind of separated. Some of that's because I maybe added too much water in one of the colors. Typically, if you're going to do any kind of pour, it's mostly paint and then a little bit of water. I sometimes add like a glue or a Mod Podge to kind of thicken it. And I actually can't remember why I do that. And then a couple of drops of some type of oil. Last night I was telling you guys, silicone oil is one they sell at like art shops, But I don't remember how much it costs, but it's expensive because I like to test things. That's how I do my art. So I go through supplies pretty fast. And I also really like this for my hair. And one day I just used it because I was out of silicone oil, and it worked just as well. And by the way, if any ladies are listening and you like coconut, this stuff smells so good. I use it in the summers. Okay, so I was thinking we could add some sparkly something to this, and that would maybe also do, some bubbles or some cells. And it's not like I don't think about this before I go live. It's that I have ADD and my brain has already come up with 19 different things. So, and yes, I do all the things that you're supposed to do to take care of that. I don't know, maybe I wish I could see the chat. Maybe we should do these two first. Ew, I can see it. Hang on. Hi guys. Hi, welcome. Oh no, out of the camera view. What's that mean? Hey David, what's that mean? Can you not see? Is that better? Well, it looks better to me. But I can't be anywhere over here by the paint if I'm looking at the phone, and I'm going to fix that. So, let's do these. Let's do these two. So I have a method that I really like to do, and it's, let me think if I have one I can show you. I'll take canvases. Usually it's in the beginning when they're just white, or they sell black. They even sell glow-in-the-dark canvases now. But sometimes I'll tape them together, and you can clean that up when you finish. You know, everything is fixable. And you can just, gesso is a type of white paint that's real thick, and you can just clean it right up. You could even probably use soap and water, because I only use acrylic. If you use oil, I don't know. I find that a little more difficult to clean up. So what I'll do is I'll connect them, and then I'll paint like it's one piece. That way when you get finished, break them apart, put it up on the wall. I don't know. I like that void in between them. Let me grab one. I'm going to show y'all. 2 seconds. Don't leave. I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see this. It's too big. I was looking for a smaller one. Okay. So I really am a multimedia type painter. I like to use all sorts of materials. Let's see if y'all can see this. Oh, it's huge. How about that? Okay, so it's all different colors, and then I put in my glue gun, I put silver. What in the world? I forget. I put some kind of silver paint in there, but it goes together like how I made it. But then if it was on the wall, and I never hung it on the wall because it's the first time I ever tried it, and I didn't like it. So I have some that, you know, obviously they match in size, but I don't think I can show them to you because they're huge. They're like 5 foot by 4 foot. Don't leave, I'm coming right back. This is a better example. I imagined this one in a beach house. Okay, so it's big too. Can y'all see that? Oh yeah, I had you zoomed in. Alright, so when I was going through my PTSD recovery, I can't really recover from it. I painted a million landscape themes, sea themes, sea scenes, waves. But what I like about it is that when you do it like that, you can put it somewhere up against the wall, and I don't know, I think it looks cool. And it's totally just a individual, perspective. For me, I liked it, and they're fun to make because they're really fun to pop open. So that's what I was thinking about doing with this. That's why I brought that up. I think my next live will be in the whole, you'll be able to see the whole shop. It's a disaster. There's stuff everywhere. Can y'all see? Okay, just zoom it in a bit. Is that better? Let's click this. Okay. So I'm probably going to end up messing this up. I wanted to see before I put it. I want to see if this one's all the runny one. Okay, it is. Oh yeah. Hey man, where's my chopstick? Okay, that looks kind of cool. Let's see if I can get the blue to come out. Okay, so just a little test on colors. I don't know how it's going to look on that brown. I hope I don't catch it on fire. I might. This might be a really great live. Oh, cool. That's totally gonna do. Okay. Oh yeah, and I want that rolling thing. If any of you guys have kids, like, kids that you have to do stuff with, get activities for, I'm thinking under the age of 10, they sell, and if I don't know if it's on Amazon, I don't know about anyone that's overseas, but can you all see this? So they sell them, there's like 10 of them. They come in a bucket like this that's clear. For me, where I live, it's at Michael's, and it makes super cool, like, once you do whatever, it doesn't matter if it's mixed paint, regular paint, whatever, it makes cool stamps. So that's what I was thinking I was going to do with this one. Here we go. I think we should add gold to it on top. That turns purple. I don't like that. And how about this one? This one's empty. I want that color. Okay, cool. So basically, we're just probably gonna go over this totally new. And once I do the stamp, some of these colors might pop out. Okay, we did blue first. and the paint's going to seep in between and on the sides and all that. This is one where if this was you and you were doing this project, you could just remember that you can always wait for it to dry and then just get a nice thick white paint or black, or you could even frame it, and that would fix, you know, it takes away, to me, it takes away from the process if you have to worry about, like, you know, the whole thing coloring in the line, coloring in your lines. So let's just leave it like that for now. I don't know, it doesn't look very thick. This one was thick. And I know I showed anybody that was here yesterday, I know I did show y'all my shop. As I said earlier, I don't want to set this up because my shop's a mess. But if I did that, you would get to like stare at how truly messy it was instead of just the couple of seconds last night. I've been having a really great day. I hope everybody else did too. Do you ever have like really good days and you think, oh, what happened to make it so great? But you just feel good? Maybe mine was that I had a 20-minute talk with Boogie. A lot of times when he notices I don't have carrots, it turns right around. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he turned around and just farted or something to let me know that he can't speak English and he doesn't like that I didn't give him what he wanted. Whoa. So, if you're not a messy painter, this is really not a good setup because all I tried to do is take the top off and the whole thing came undone. That's a tip. Okay, I think we did red next, right? I like this red. I don't think y'all can see it. Ew, should I turn the light out? That lighting is no good. Let me see. I think that's a little bit better. I don't know. I can't see the chat. Can y'all see that? Oh. Okay. I can't read it. I'm sorry. So, now we're going to start doing the crazy dance. I don't know. I like that big light on. I saw somebody said I had a cute workshop. Thank you. It was a carport when I bought. It's like a little farmhouse, and next to it was a carport. And the people that I bought the house from flipped it, and I'm putting that in quotes because they're idiots. They live next door, and they did the worst job. My husband at the time, I bought the house, but he did a lot of the fixing all of their flipped issues. And they're the ones that changed the carport into a 4-car garage, which is also in quotes. And I had to spend a good amount of money to get somebody to help with the lighting, which was like by far so important because I knew I was going to do art in here. And it was either cold or hot, you know, all that stuff. So we've lived here 11 years, so it has come a long way. I don't know, it's kind of turning pink. I don't like it. Let's Stop messing with it. Let her. And almost every single thing in my shop I got on like Facebook Marketplace for free. Can y'all see that? I want to see if you can see it with this light on. Okay. Last night the shine was too much. Maybe it's because it's small. And my ex-husband was super helpful. He wasn't very nice, but he was super helpful because he was a commercial painter. So he would bring leftover paints to me. So I have a million paintings that are odd colors, like lime green, when I would have preferred white. And I don't care. I don't think like that. I don't color in the lines. If anybody doesn't know my story, I got a psychology degree about 30 years ago, and I got a minor in art. And I know that I was lucky for about 10 minutes because my dad was going to pay for my college because I was expected to go to college. I think the first time I ever heard from him say that was I may have been 3 years old, so I was expected to go. And when I changed from computer programming and accounting to psychology and art in one semester, because I knew I was not going to be doing either one of those things, he said this: Heather, art is a hobby. I'm not paying for that. So I don't know if I should make bubbles first or make dots first. Let's see how it goes. Sometimes this doesn't work. Let's see. That one's not going to work very good. I don't think it's working very well. It will look cool on something white. So I told my dad about my favorite painter, Jackson Pollock, and the fact that, I don't know what year it was, that one of his paintings was the most expensive painting ever sold at the time. And, oh, he was military police. He was head of military police when he lived overseas. So, yeah, he could give a shit about that. And he'll probably never see this, but if he does, hi, Dad. It's the best college education I ever got. And sometimes we just have to learn that doing things that feel right to us and maybe aren't what. Can y'all see that smoke? I don't know if it was a plastic. I'm going to try real hard not to catch anything on fire. Sometimes we have to learn to do things on our own. And sometimes you can just be human and still be sore about things because there's 5 of us and I'm the oldest, and I believe I'm the only one that paid for their entire college. But I do have one brother that went to MIT, so, you know, I don't know. I think we're all just as smart, all 5 of us. I like the way that turned out. What do y'all think? I'm gonna see if I can see the chat or if anybody's even still with me. 3 people, hi y'all. I can't see any chit chat. So I think I'm gonna leave it. I kinda like the blue. I want more blue. But I feel like if I mess with it, it's going to, I don't know. if this is the first time that you have listened to me talk while I paint, I'm going to say this kind of regular. No, I don't know what I'm doing. Um, I have an idea of how certain things mix together and how they work together and what's successful. And I learn every single time I create something, I learn something new. And I make that a point to do that every day anyway. So, um, having a minor in art only means to me that I learned how to manipulate metals. That was fun. I took a class that was actually called basket weaving, and I won't feel bad saying this because there's no way this lady is still alive, but my art teacher that taught basket weaving was at least 403. I mean, she was cool. Like every day I thought she was gonna like pull out a wand and disappear somebody or something. It was cool. But my favorite, and it's right below where my phone is ceramics. I like to play in the mud, which maybe y'all can tell by the way I paint. Um, my kids still eat off of the bowls that I made in college, and I graduated from college in '96. So the next step in my shop, I have to bring water out here, and I already have a little kiln. I already have a little bit of everything I need. I need to stop talking because now I'm just digging it up. I don't know, it's kind of looking like a map now. Like if you were looking at like the satellite view of a map that had like rivers or something. Let's see if that helps. And one thing that I always say, I've had lots of kids that have come, and I love to, not so much like, ooh, I love to be a teacher, but because I mean, I don't mind. I like it a lot, but I really, really, really wanted to be an art therapist because I had worked with, during my psychology, while I was getting my degree, I also had to work full time, of course, and I also had like literally had 4 roommates. We had two guys that slept on each couch, and we even had one guy that slept in a tent in our backyard. And that is how we all afforded to go to college. I can't remember if the dude in the tent did, but he opened up a recycling center in our town. And then he hit his head a few years ago, and he went crazy and tried to kill me. And that's my story, and it was weird. But when I was working full time, I worked with kids that were wards of the state, and a lot of them were already on medications because of things that had happened to them throughout their lives already. And oh, I loved them so much. I would love so much to know what happened to them. They would come home and, I worked, I mean, full time for sure, but they would come out from school and they would bring me like their class photos, so I still have all of those. And it made me really, really happy to work with them. I taught one kid how to read. I taught one kid how to tell time. But what I noticed, and I know that art therapy existed in the 90s, but I hadn't really heard of it. And so once I learned about it, I started bringing art in for the kids who had such trouble talking. And it's not like I wasn't a psychiatrist or anything. I wanted everybody to be comfortable. And I mean, this was their home that I worked in. It was like a group home. And and one thing it did do, it didn't necessarily mean that they changed. Uh, but I think that art, when somebody's focusing on something like this, it's like your right brain is doing its own thing. If you just let it, and I know to me this is crap. I'm probably gonna paint over it, and I'm okay with that. Um, but what I noticed is the kids that weren't that didn't talk very much and that would participate whenever I just bring out stuff, and I would just bring it out. It was never you have to do this, you have to none of that. Other people were in charge of bossing them around, so taking their meds and things like that. But they were just more comfortable with the group from then on. And when they were comfortable, because these kids have been through so much, um, and if anybody ever is listening to this and this would be your story, I just want to tell you that anybody that worked with you that was even remotely like me at all, I loved each one of my kids. I was in my 20s. I loved them like they were my own child. Um, and I don't know if anybody ever knew that, you know? So, point being, I wanted to be an art therapist. So, I've had some kids come, so my kids' friends come and we play with art. And, I have like a whole set of just in case clothes out here that have aprons and different size art attire, leggings and white t-shirts and different sizes for kids, because I did learn real quick. Well, my kids were just messy, and that's because, I mean, I don't know, look at who's doing this painting. Okay, I figured it out. I like these colors, but I don't like all this brown. I think that one's going to be a do-over. Let me just see if I can catch one thing on fire real quick. I think it's too thick now to have any cells pop. Okay. I don't like it. I don't know if I can see the chat. Let me look. I can't see the chat. Hey, I think that says there's 8 folks on here. Hi, you guys. I'm very happy that you're here. I have to say, I am making a big old mess while I was telling y'all a story, but my deal with art is everything can be painted over. You know, I mean, you don't see like your grandma crocheting in her rocking chair, tripping out. You know, they just do it, and then they just do something else if whatever they're doing doesn't work. At least that's what I always saw. I'm not really good with sewing, so. And if you missed it, well, what we're doing here can end up like this. This is what I did a while back on a bigger scale. Can y'all see that? Oh, I think you can. The paint is a whole lot thicker. This has too much water in it, so whenever you mix them, I'm gonna show again because there weren't 8 people on whenever I showed it in the first place. See how these, like I call them bubbles, they're called cells, cells. This happens when you mix the paint with a little water and a little bit of oil. You can use silicone oil. You can use that coconut oil stuff I showed y'all that I put in my hair. I've been out of stuff before and used Dawn dish soap. That worked too. But this right here, I think took maybe 2 weeks. I paint every single day. It's an obsession. I don't know. I just have to. But this is what we did last night. And can you see, like, as soon as I hit this paint with the kitchen torch that I have out here, all these grew. I think it looks like better like that, right? I don't know. It reminds me of a phoenix, but anyhow, so when there's color upon color upon color, they'll pop out. And some people don't like this kind of painting. That's fine. I do every kind of painting. I'm not super into really detailed stuff because it takes me a really long time. But let me show you one I did. Hang on, I gotta wash my hands. Oh no, there's more water. So this one got framed. This one took me forever. Is anybody on here? Drum roll. I just thought, oh, like a little kid's room. Everybody needs a unicorn. But that one turned out nice. To me, that's hard. And some people, that's easy. How are we doing on time? 39 minutes. Okay. Welcome, everybody. So, we have manipulated these two that we worked on last night. And I was telling everybody, sometimes I like to put canvases together so that they kind of match. That way, whenever it dries and you break it open, you can hang it. I don't know, to me, I like that cool, like, void space between them, or you can just keep them next to each other. I would show you my favorite one that I did like that, but it's huge. It's I don't know, I think it's 5 foot by 6 foot. Okay, I'm not down with all this right now. This is dry. I just don't really feel like getting the back of this all yakety yak. Alright. I wish I could see the chat. I want to know what color y'all think I should make this one. Because we're going to add something to it. It doesn't have to be a do-over like that one. We can just add to the sides or just start over. I wish I could see the chat. All I can see is hi. Let me see. Don't know. But everybody, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I was telling everybody these little roller things come in a plastic container. For us, it's at Michael's, maybe like a Hobby Lobby or a place like that. And they're for kids, for like thick paint. And they make really cool patterns. What should I do to this? Okay, add some glue. Oh, let's do a cup. Let's do a cup. Let's do what do they call it? A tree core. Hang on, Dolly. I'm coming right back. I'm back. I'm so sorry. My shop is, I'm very lucky. It's 1,000 square feet, and it always happens that way. If you see any videos on how to do this, it's gonna look way different than the way I do it. And they always use like a plastic clear party cup thing. I'm like, oh, I know. This is what I found works even better. We're gonna do this. So what I was thinking about one day, because I have 4 acres here in Texas, and I bought the house on my own. I was married briefly. He was super helpful and super not nice, so he has not lived here, and well, he only lived here like a year. And we've been here 11 years. So I have funnels. I have every tool in the world. I mow my own grass, all that stuff. But one day I was watching a video on how to do this certain kind of pour. And so they usually put it in a cup. You know, I did it last night. But they'll put like, you know, a piece of paper or something, and they'll fill it up with the different colors. And then flip it like this, and then you can see all of the different paints. They don't mix together like you mixed it with, you know, I don't know, a spoon or whatever. Comes out cool. So I found that I really liked this whole funnel thing. I'm just concerned because these colors are kind of watery. Give me 1 second to get the thick ones. I don't use a lot of browns in my stuff just because I mean, if you were here and saw what we did over there, a lot of times when you mix colors together, it's almost just like that, you're going to end up with a brownish anyway, so I don't use a lot of brown. Here we go. Anything neon-y always turns out really cool, and also whites. I knew you were going to do that. Never use your teeth on anything like that. I just pulled a mom move on y'all. That felt like there was more paint in there. Alright, so what did we do? Pink, gold, a little purple, white, it's almost going to be too much because it's going to go off the edges. I hope somebody's here with me so you can see that I call this the reveal. It's cool. It may not end up looking cool, but it's cool to watch at first. Even though this red one has, first off, this red one wants to. This red one has sparkly stuff. I don't remember what I mixed in it. Maybe some gold. Okay, here we go. I've never seen it do that before. I think that was the white. So, personal preference. If I can see the chat, or if anyone's here with me still, thank you. But some people leave it. A lot of people love to manipulate it. I usually manipulate it and then wish that I didn't. But that's what we did last night. I ended up with that crazy red one. So I know what you're thinking. Yeah, we just mixed some paint. What do you do? Maybe you were having a hard time sleeping. Maybe this could help you fall asleep. Listening to me talk about it. I don't know. Let's see if I can get it to go down some. And I don't think I said this today, but after I got lost at sea, and they called my family and told them I was dead, I had what's called delayed PTSD. I was back at work within 24 hours once we saved ourselves. I was back at work and in my heels, drove an hour and a half, took the kids to school, the whole deal. And I had delayed PTSD, which was crazy. So not everybody does this. I like to do it because, you know, once it's dry, you're not even able to get that kind of color back. And I kind of like this. So I'm just going to fill stuff in now. And yeah, I have 400,000 paintbrushes. But obviously, I liked finger painting. What I was saying is, I had delayed PTSD, and even with a psychology degree, I never thought I never thought I would ever even go to a psychiatrist, no matter what. And I didn't know I would have delayed PTSD. I didn't know what was going on with me. I started having really bad insomnia when I used to sleep like a bear, and then that was causing memory problems. And I worked for AT&T for almost 25 years. I was handling $1 billion contract. And when you have insomnia and then you're having memory problems, and yeah, there's notebooks, and now there's even cooler tech. I saw something on the other day. I think it was on like Peacock advertising, but it was this thing that it listens to the audio and then it writes in the notes. So you don't even have to take notes. And then it has like a whole little space under it where it's almost like a whiteboard with, you know, a pen, like the old school, you know, when you could rip it off, and where you can add your own notes. I don't know, y'all. I think that looks kind of cool. So my point is, my doctor of 20 years at the time, I went to go see him, and I was telling him what was going on with me, and I was having weird fears, like, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, because I totally took a shower every day. There's something about the shower, the water, was messing with me. And then I started having dreams that sharks were circling my bed at night. So, I mean, I don't usually need to get up at night, but if I did, there's no way I would have. So that was a problem. Even though I knew that it wasn't happening, it's like it overrides your brain. So I went to the doctor, delayed PTSD. He sent me to, I'd already seen like 5 psychiatrists, and I was like, oh my God, I'm better than every one of them, no offense, but they weren't listening. So my doctor sent me to his, and I still see them. I just saw him a week or two ago, and she and I text. She checks in on me, and some of my art. I made a phoenix and an eagle, and those both hang in my doctor's office. I gave them to him as presents for like a whole year when I was starting to get a little better. He wouldn't even ask me about like my blood pressure. He would say, I want to see what you've been painting. Because for a while there, it was like a really dark. I was trying to recreate what I went, hurricane winds and a broken beta. I was trying to recreate it in my head to get it out. And then one day I started painting birds. And so when I showed him, I didn't even think about it, but he said, oh, well, I would say you're getting better, Heather. And anyways, super cool guy. So that's my experience. I was never planning to sit here and chit chat while I did this, but because I don't have anybody to ever talk to when I do this at night, none of these are popping, little suckers. So it has to be the ones, oh look, some of that yellow did. It has to be the ones that I put the oil in, and not, if it has too much water, it won't work. I feel like I missed part of my story. I wish I could see the chat. Oh, hi everybody. Y'all can barely see that. Look at that. Okay, the light of it is super bright. Oh, there we go. Go smaller. I wanted to show you the yellow. See how it popped? Let's turn this on. Come on. How is it possible? Can't see it now. I'm so sorry. There we go. See how they kind of grew? I feel like that should be there. So I wasn't like that before I put the torch on it. Oh, I hope one day I can do this and it's not such a mess. So this, yesterday, when we did kind of the same thing, all of these cells popped open, but they got bigger. So I don't know why I still can't see any of the messages. I'm very sorry. I was going to ask y'all what color you wanted me to do last. I'll probably turn the chat off on accident. Who knows? But I am going to figure it out. If I can tell y'all that you matter and do a 20-minute video almost every day, a 20-minute video and a short, I think I can figure out the live. Hi, everybody. Okay, let's see, we're almost at an hour. Did y'all hear that? Oh, my book just came on in my ear. That was crazy. I'm gonna add blue. We're just gonna see what happens. This is the one. Let's buy some more oil. And I don't know what the rules are on YouTube. Like, I'm really not. I like the quiet because I live way out in the country, but I really like to have music on, and I got like a copyright thing, not a strike, but the deal that I posted, the first one where I was showing you guys just a video of me painting. I don't know. If anybody knows, can you comment on there and just tell me, like, can I have background music? Just how do I make sure it's approved? Okay, I'm gonna make what I liked it earlier when it looks like a river. Give me 1 second. I want to add white cream to it. I don't think you have to add glue, and I can't remember at all why I do it. So, if y'all think this is a tutorial, it is on how to just wing it. That's it. There's this one guy that does videos where he does just pours, and he has these black gloves. Everything's white. That's all clean. I aspire to that, and that is not my life. My house is very clean, but I can't do art like that. Okay, let's see what we have here. Right, here we go. I was thinking about like how shadows look, so I wanted to kind of follow the line. Uh-oh, I missed out. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Okay, I'm not touching it, but I am going to see if I can not catch everything on fire. This is exactly why I never used plastic bags, or cheesecloth. But I haven't caught anything on fire yet. I've been doing this for I don't know, 6 or 7 years. That crackle means it's too hot. Did y'all see that smoke? Should I do a disclaimer like, if you're not 18, don't do this at home? Do not steal your mom's kitchen torch, that kind of thing. My goddaughter, I always used to catch her with matches and make me nuts. I don't think that you should have to hide stuff before kids come to your house. So I made it easy on her. I said, if I ever catch you with matches again, I'm just taking you home. And she would cry. I don't know. Does that sound mean? I didn't mean for it to sound mean, but it's like, what else am I going to do? Please don't catch my house on fire. Kids don't listen to that. Okay. I don't like these weird green islands over here, so I'm getting rid of them. So I started my studio because my daughters are a year apart. It's not why I started my studio. Um, and one of them, I swear, it sounds like she just walked in here. Hang on a second. Hello? She would die if she knew I was talking about her. She was at that age when teenagers start giving their parents lip. I don't remember. If you guys are, well, maybe you don't remember. I don't know. Maybe you. I have no idea what other people's lives are like. But it was real weird because she had always been like a mini me. We always got along really well. And I couldn't think of anything. I was like, okay, well, I'll take her to a psychiatrist. I don't spank. We have 3 rules in our house, and we always have. And they are, we don't say bored, we don't say hate, and don't cuss around grandma. That's it. It wasn't like, clean your room, make your bed, do your homework. They always had A's, and they always did that stuff because I did that stuff. Like, they just followed suit. And I think that I was super lucky. But then what happened when she was a teenager? Oh my God. Giving me lip, calling me names. But I couldn't help it. I would always start laughing, which just made it worse. I suppose most people, at least on those crazy shows on Netflix, parents go bananas. I just could never treat a child like that. So I have been thinking about, I had just moved. I literally moved my ex-husband's stuff completely out of the house, like furniture and all, by myself. I don't know if y'all saw me. I don't go to the gym and like lift my weights and stuff, but and I live in a neighborhood that it's real weird to have people like throw shit in the front yard. Anyways, so he had filled this whole 4-car garage up with his commercial painting business. Part of the deal was they had to, part of the work order would be like remove refrigerator and grill and A-bikes and then paint, blah, 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 kind of white. And we live in a town that has a university. So, and he's been doing that job, or his company, it's his company. It's been open for like 30 years. So he basically cleans up all the apartments when everybody leaves and then time for them to come back. So when I was getting rid of his stuff, I walked out in the garage and I was like, oh shit. We literally had 8 non-working bicycles. We had 4 refrigerators that were never going to get used because if he couldn't fix it, he could fix almost everything, and he couldn't fix them. And I was like, why are they here? So one of my kids' friends, for some reason, her mom at pickup told me that they were doing this like, hey, do you have anything to donate? I forget what they call it. But, they were raising money for the church. And I told her, I said, oh yeah, I think there were 3 couches. I have no idea how many grills. And they were like, when you go to someone's house, it's like an older house. Maybe it's a rental. And there might be like 5 broken grills that are like way in the back there that nobody touches on purpose. And tires and shit like that. Like, I don't know why he didn't get rid of it. But I told her some of the things that were in my garage. The whole thing was full, top to bottom, with just collection stuff that he had a 60-acre ranch, but he dropped all that garbage off here. And he would always say, I'm going to fix it. So I donated it to the church, and it took them a foreman, and they only brought 1 truck and 1 trailer, and I told her, you're going to need more than that. So it took them 3 trips And so then my daughter starts acting up, and I'm thinking, I have a totally empty 4-car garage. I never parked my car in the garage. This is the third house that I've owned on my own. I don't know, I just don't park in the garage. I prefer to use the garage for like a workshop or something. And we came out here and I taught them, they already knew about Jackson Pollock, but I taught them how he really did it. So we got out whatever paint that Jeff had left. Of course, I didn't get rid of that. And we splatter painted the walls. There's like a couple doors. They were really into their gymnastics, so they were putting paint on the ground and doing handstands, so they were leaving handprints. And then we didn't have canvases or anything. I mean, this was a total off the fly mom moment. Like, I gotta fix this shit fast. So I found 2 pieces of wood. Here's one of them. And I gave them each an assignment. And it was to make something that would go good in this place that we didn't know what we were going to use it for. Do you see that? I'm not liking this. I just have to go vertical. Anyways, the youngest did this one, pink. And the other one is white, and it has a bird on it, and it says free. So, it made me happy because she was the problem. And I figured if she painted something, meaning she was feeling free at the moment, like, you know, a little bit of freedom when you can, like, practically destroy stuff. I mean, it was black paint. We had paint all over us, everywhere. Oh my God. They invited friends over. I'm going to be done storytelling in a minute. They invited friends over a couple weeks later. Oh, and one thing he did leave was a hot tub. And for anybody that doesn't have a ton of money that might be listening to this, and someone says, hey, do you want a hot tub? Tell them no, and then be sad about it for the rest of your life. It's total pain in the butt because you have to clean it. You can't just not clean it. People are nasty. Y'all know that. That's like, it's like, to me, it's like a baby pool. Ugh. But I loved it because I cleaned it and I knew it was clean. But then you know what happens? This is why you don't want to take one. Nobody wants it. What are you supposed to do with it when you're done? If y'all know the answer to that, I did not. Some guys came to switch out our electrical pole that goes to the garage. And I was at the point where everyone I saw everywhere, I asked them, hey, do you want a hot tub? Hey, do you want a hot tub? Hey, do you want a hot tub? And he did. He came back the next day and got it. And then he kept calling me after that, which I was like, that's creepy. And there's no takey backsies. I don't even know if anybody says that anymore. So the reason I brought up the hot tub is because the girls invited some friends over. So we started the art shop. We didn't really have a whole lot of supplies or paint. We had some leftover stuff from like different years from school. So we had some stuff. And I don't know what I was working on. I want to say I might have been mowing the grass, but I have a greenhouse too, so we have a lot of trust in each other because it's always just been us. Except that day. So the girls that came over, I put their little outfits on that I have the stash. That way their moms wouldn't get mad for paint stained clothes, right? And I took a break to kind of see what they were doing out here in the shop. And Bella was like, my oldest, the one that was free, said, we're having so much fun. And then Perla runs in the garage, and that dog is black and white, but she's also had bright blue. where her white was. She looked really cute, but somebody had been painting her. And then I went in to walk into the house, and the hot tub was blue. All of the water in the hot tub was blue. Not this color blue. Not this color blue. Maybe this with dark blue. That was this color. I almost died. And then I thought, okay, well, I use acrylics. Whenever Jeff had left any oils, I got rid of just because I'm too messy. And I thought, I do love bleach. Hopefully it works. And it cleaned it. And then that guy, I ended up selling it not too long after that. And that is my story. And it doesn't make me a great mom or a great painter or a great anything. It's just telling stories. But you know what? Nobody got in trouble. And you know why? Because I already said what the 3 rules were. And I didn't tell them, please don't color our hot tub. And I don't know, I think they were like 8 and 9. Is that right? I don't know. I just didn't feel like, I feel like the times when you should get real mad at your kids is if they're walking into a street and they're about to get run over. You know? Oh my God, or if they murdered somebody. Shit like that. God forbid. I can't believe I said that out loud. But otherwise, I think everything is a learning experience. I love my kids. That's what we're supposed to do as parents. But my Mother's Day message, if anybody caught it, was for real from the bottom of my heart. Like, I have a really good girlfriend, and she never said I don't want to have kids, and she never said I'm so sad I can't have kids. You know, she never really had a kid discussion. Nobody ever asked. She didn't say. But she's always had lots of like cats and dogs, and she took care of her mom. Her mom had one of those lengthy, I can't remember what was wrong with her, but she was sick for a real long time, and she would take care of her. You know, she's just she's one of those people that you call when you have, you know, let's say you have bad news, like me, like, cancers, you know, like, who do you tell? Why do you tell them? You don't want any pity from anybody, but she's the one you call. So my thing, whenever I said on Mother's Day, was, I don't like what's happening here, was kind of like to her, like, you know, this isn't just a day for moms. This should be a day for us to all honor each other for taking care of each other and, you know, doing your best. And everybody fucks up. Everybody. Everybody makes mistakes, and they think they're doing something for the right reason, and then they find out, you know, it was detrimental, or I don't even know where I'm going with that. Just try your best to keep yourself honest, that's all. And for anyone with parents that just heard my rules, I totally get that that's crazy. But for a lot of the years when my kids were growing up, when they were in their young, like, formative years, I was a manager, and I wasn't an executive yet, but I was a manager for like 11 years, and I worked from home almost predominantly because there were only a handful of us in Texas that had that job. So we handled like the oil companies in Houston, and I handled a couple of gas in San Antonio, and so we were expected to work online helping those corporate customers, and even at, you know, 2 a.m. It didn't matter, whenever it was. And then if they needed us or scheduled a meeting on site, we went there. So because of that, we had a cool manager, and he didn't expect for us to come into the office. And nobody ever knows this, but when they make you go into the office, you get way less work done. Way. I mean, your commute doesn't exist if you work from home. And most people are so busy, they're excited because they're like, "Ooh, I can just start working in my PJs." Well, yeah, and the office, whoever you work for, they just got like a whole extra hour, hour and a half of work out of you. Taking your lunch, at least this was me, taking my lunch in front of my computer every day. But my point was, I spent so much time with my kids because I got to start work early and take a break, take them to school. Um, and then, I would always try to figure out how to make sure I got to pick them up. And then I would start back up when I put them to bed at like 10 at night, and to finish whatever it was I didn't. So I tried my best to make it. I think it just made us really close. My youngest daughter she can be very serious sometimes. And one day I started to tell her a story and she made a weird face, and I was like, "You know this story, don't you? I've already told you, right?" And she goes, "Mom, don't take this the wrong way, but I think I might know all of your stories better than you." And I did not take offense because that means she was listening. And that's how I feel about negative comments on YouTube channels too. They saw, they listened. Big deal. Everybody gets their own opinion, and I just I'm not ever in my whole life, I'm not going to be trying to talk people into religion, politics, none of that. And I don't even understand some of the comments on my channel. They're like in the wrong language and they don't make sense. But they saw, and not like, "Ooh, watch hours." Like, I'm here for a reason to spread, to just spread the fact that we all gotta find joy somehow. And this right here helps me sleep. I'll be able to sleep better tonight. I don't know. I kind of like it. I weirdly feel like I wish I had glitter or confetti or something, and I don't. I would never. Can y'all see that? Hi, guys. There's still people on. I can't believe it. Hi. I'm totally gonna have a better setup very soon because this doesn't work for me very well. And I can't see the chat. And I want to know if I should stop. Press a down arrow. I don't see any. Are y'all just not chatting? Is that all it is? I really just want to go and see what happens, but it might just turn brown. I don't know. Y'all want to see some done artwork? First off, let's see if we can see that up close. I have no clue why the live doesn't pick it up. Oh no, my battery is 5%. Okay, I'm going to show you before we lose each other. I'm going to show you that tool that I was talking about that kids can use. Look, it looks crazy, right? But all it was I put paint down and then I rolled the roller in like black or whatever. And then this one I'm still working on. I don't like any of these colors together. I think that's how it goes. So when it's finished, it'll be up against the wall like, like that. But I'm thinking about turning the green into gold. Okay. It does not like that. So it's all in your perspective. And this is just abstract type art, but it's not all I can do. This one right here, I do like the koi. I'm gonna I've got to set up my store so I can sell some of this. I think that's it for now, y'all. I need somebody to buy my angel. She's huge. She took me a real long time. So this is how I felt when I had PTSD. I took the idea of her being chained up, and then she fixed her wings herself. And my mom said when she saw that, that makes me sad. And she didn't know that when I finished it, it made me feel better because I got the emotions out, you know? Anyhow, so let's see. So I'm 5'3". Hi. I'm so happy that there are people still here with me. Y'all, it's late. It's late for me. Well, not really. I stay up late. And are you guys in different countries?